Uh, Brad and Angel, if I was able to help you discover or find $1 million that's disappearing from your life over the next 20 years, how many of those would you like back?
All of them.
Yeah, all of it for sure.
Okay. All right. So, Brad, I know your birthday is tomorrow, right?
It's tomorrow. Yep.
Tomorrow. Happy birthday tomorrow. You're 45 years old. So, we got 20 more years before we hit the magical retirement age. Now, if we were to look at household income currently, how much are we looking at?
Roughly around 250.
About 250. Okay. Now, we typically see income going up on an annual basis. When we look at government data and some of these other sources, it suggests that income goes up by about 6.9% each year. I have other clients, they look at that and say, it's a bit more aggressive than I want to work with. I want to use a more conservative number. So, do you want to use the government data or do you want to use a more conservative number?
Let's go with 5%.
5%? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So, 5%. Each year, we're going to see income then jump from 250 to 262 to 275, and it compounds every single year. Now, what that means is over the next 20 years, you're going to see about $8.2 million pass through your hands. Does that number surprise you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of times it's a lot bigger number than what we think or what it feels like because we see it just on a monthly basis
Mm-hmm.
as it passes through. Now, unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, and we get to spend a fair amount of those dollars to sleep inside, eat food, buy clothes, and do the things that we need to in life. As Americans, we're terrible at saving. And the statistics tell us that at best, we're saving 4% on an annual basis. And what that means is of that 250, 240 of it is going to pass through your hands.
Oh.
And we're terrible at capturing any of the increase. And it's because of how our financial system is structured. It's very good at separating us from our money. And so if our income goes up by 5% each year, so does our spending. Have you ever thought, man, if only I was making an extra $10,000, $20,000 a year, I would be able to do X and Y. And well, 2 years later, you're making that extra and you can't figure out where it went.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Definitely.
It happens to all of us. And as a result, we only end up saving about 330,000 of that 8.2.
Wow.
Is that going to be enough for when you retire?
No way.
No.
All right. So, should we put that money under a mattress or should we go put it to work?
Let's put it to work.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go put it to work. Now, if we're looking year over year and we took the next 20 years and we say this is the actual rate of return I got every year over the next 20, what rate of return do you think you guys would be able to get over that period of time?
I don't know. Like, call it, I know 6 to 7%. We feel pretty confident, but some of our investments are looking good. So let's call it 10%.
10%? Okay. All right. So over the next 10, 20 years, if we get a consistent 10% rate of return, how much bigger do you think it's going to make this end result here?
Uh, Probably, I mean, compounding interest is the most underestimated. What I can't remember the quote, but we'll say five.
For the world.
Yes, eighth wonder of the world. We'll call it. Let's say 5 million.
5 million. Okay. You're close. We're at 896,000.
So far.
Okay.
It
Is
doesn't
that
even make a million.
it didn't break a million, unfortunately.
Okay.
We were unable to break a million. Is that going to be enough?
No, definitely not.
We could just stop paying taxes.
Okay. So let's assume for a minute here, I have a magic wand and I can get you 15% without introducing any additional risk into your portfolio.
Okay.
You are looking at it saying the 10% you were wanting, hoping it would get us to 5 million.
Yeah.
But if we up it to 15%, we're able to get up to 1.5, almost 1.6 million. Is that going to be enough for you?
No, not for retirement. Definitely not.
Okay. So there's another way that we're able to influence the end result of your portfolio without introducing risk. And that is by creating a structured cash flow system that prioritizes your financial future, your financial freedom, in getting to where you want to be ultimately. If we put a little bit of constraint on the increase of spending each year, we can have a positive impact on the account balance at the end of 20 years. Now, a lot of times clients look at it and they say, well, if I'm getting a 4% annual increase, I'm going to save half of it and I'm going to spend the other half. So 2% goes downstream to the checking, 2% stays in the wealth coordination account as we build to create the portfolio you're looking for. So if we put a little bit of constraint on your spending, first off, do you think that's possible for us to do if we have the right system?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think anybody can with the right system, right?
Yeah, we can have it completely automated. So how much of the annual increase in income do you think we could capture comfortably on an annual basis?
I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Um, I think we could do 10%.
I mean, the bottom line is that if you're looking to increase the style of living, the lifestyle, um, you've got to have some sort of a system that can give you back payments that's helping you live.
Right,
Otherwise, you're just while we're increasing our income, we're just increasing our outgo,
right.
and you get ahead, right? So, you know,
Okay. So if income goes up by 5% each year, do you think it's possible to capture half of that? So at 2.5%.
Yeah,
I would hope.
Okay.
really.
All right. So if we capture 2.5%, so income goes up at 5%. What that means is instead of spending an extra 12,000 next year, you spent an extra 6,000, and we captured the other six. And then it compounds year after year as we create a divergent path from consumption and savings.
Mhm.
Whereas right now we're looking at a parallel path. Income up, spending is right there in lockstep with it. So before I hit save on this, how much do you think that'll impact the bottom line?
No idea. I would hope that it would come in, north of five million.
That's what I was
North
thinking.
of five? Okay. I think we're going to get closer to that five. We hit 4.5. So now we're up to just shy of 4.5 million.
Yeah, that's
Is
great.
that a much, what's that?
I said, yeah, that's great.
That's great. Okay.
Mhm.
So now we're getting into the neighborhood of a portfolio that you'd be able to live off of, comfortably maintaining your lifestyle through retirement.
Right.
Okay. So, Brad and Angel, if we started working with each other, would you rather we start chasing rate of return, or would you rather start off by building a structured cash flow system that prioritized your financial freedom?
Cash flow system for sure.
Definitely.
Cash flow structure. Okay. Let's dive in.